While supernatural horror is a broad category, we've already looked at ghosts and hauntings on nights 5 and 6. So these are the films that deal with supernatural forces that defy science, but don't rely on religious or ghostly tropes. Think metaphysical, like Carrie, Scanners, or The Dead Zone, or unexplained phenomenon like the curses in It Follows or Smile and Smile 2, or supernatural entities like in The Autopsy of Jane Doe or The Babadook, which is a supernatural manifestation of grief. Or how about an entire town corrupted by psychic torment in Silent Hill? For me, one entity embodies the worst of childhood fears and adult insecurities: Pennywise the clown in It.
Georgie, aren't you going to say hello?
Now, I know Pennywise is technically a cosmic entity, but I feel like It slots into the supernatural subgenre better than cosmic horror. So that's why I wanted to talk about it here. Stephen King's It stands as one of the most enduring modern horror stories, not simply because of its monstrous villain that solidified the fear of clowns in multiple generations, but because of its unflinching exploration of childhood fear and trauma, in a way few horror tales ever do. Whether in the 1990 miniseries or the 2017 film adaptation, It blends supernatural terror with the raw emotional reality of growing up in a cruel world. The story takes place in the seemingly quiet town of Derry, Maine, a place rotting beneath its nostalgic surface. Every 27 years, a shape-shifting creature awakens to feed on fear, most often taking the form of Pennywise the dancing clown.
Oh, well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown.
When children begin disappearing, a group of misfit friends called the Losers Club band together to confront the evil haunting their town. What begins as a summer adventure turns into a lifelong struggle against a force that represents everything malignant in their world. In both the 1990 miniseries and the 2017 adaptation, Pennywise represents much more than a simple killer clown. He represents the face of fear itself, by necessity. Pennywise gains power from fear, and he ramps the terror up by exploiting insecurities and traumas in the Losers Club, both when they're young and much older.
I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
The children see visions tailored to their worst nightmares, from dead relatives to monstrous lepers, while Derry itself is infected by apathy, with adults turning blind eyes to suffering, allowing evil to thrive. The 1990 miniseries, with Tim Curry's unforgettable performance, leans heavily into psychological and atmospheric horror, allowing your own imagination to create a lot of the perceived terror. Curry's Pennywise is at once charming and unsettling, a smiling predator lurking behind a clown's mask.
Won't do any good to run, girly boy. See you in your dreams. Oh, come back anytime. Bring your friends.
The TV format limited the gore but heightened the eeriness. What we don't see often feels worse than what we do. The 2017 film, as well as the 2019 Chapter 2, are, by contrast, more explicit about their spectacle, leaning more into modern horror conventions, like jump scares, special effects with heaps of CGI, and complex set pieces. Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise feels much more alien and otherworldly, but also more deadly.
One, two.
You're supposed to say 3.
I will say that while I love Tim Curry's awesome portrayal, Skarsgård does an equally admirable job, turning Pennywise into something that truly makes your skin crawl. They both perform the role in their own way, and they're both great. The acting in general in the new movies is convincing, and they're clearly high-level Hollywood productions. However, the bombastic nature of some of the scenes and Pennywise's more active role in the scares does turn some people off who prefer the creeping sense of dread that the 1990 miniseries invokes. Everyone has their preference, with most people growing up in the prior millennium probably preferring the 1990 version, because it's what scared them first, and burned the image of Pennywise in their brain. And I'm one of those. That movie was so infamous at the time, even if you'd never seen it, you knew about it from the grapevine, and just the idea of it was enough to terrify you. Both versions do differ somewhat from the novel, thankfully in some cases. If you know, you know. And both lean into the camaraderie and humor of adolescence, much like Stand By Me, making the horror feel sharper by contrast, which is part of the story's overall strength. In the end, both share the same essence that growing up means facing fear, and that sometimes friendship is the only power strong enough to defeat the monsters in the dark. So take your pick. You can't go wrong with either.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Mike Hanlon, but I had to go.
Night 12 fed on your fears, and Night 13 is pounding on the door. Don't look over your shoulder, it'll slow you down.